Welcome to another episode of the SportsBros Podcast, featuring the almighty B Live, the money man Scottie D, and your host, the head of creative, Eddy Kool. The SportsBros Podcast is a sports podcast that's by the fans, for the fans, talking sports just the way you like it. And without any further ado, let's give it up for the SportsBros. If you looked on your notifications and you saw a new episode of the SportsBros Podcast, well, guess what? You're right. It's Tuesday, and you know what that means. It's time for another episode of your favorite sports podcast, none other than the SportsBros Podcast. I go by the name of Eddy Kool, a.k.a. the HOC, and let me tell you what, that break, it felt great. I needed it. Why was it only like week 3 of the high school football season, and I was more slapped the hell out already? Had a real interesting weekend, but that's neither here nor there. You can hear all about that on the Wellness Check Wednesday podcast. But enough of my incoherent rambling. Football is here, and to help me talk about all that happened in the National Football League, the Shield, not only do I have one, but I have two of the best co-hosts in the world. Introducing first from the Shared Studios, coming to you live from Fayetteville, North Carolina, the almighty B Live.
What's happening? What's going on in the world today? Feel like I'm on set. Like I feel like the real deal up in there. I feel like setting this up real quick, seeing what we're capable of doing here and whatnot. But at the end of the day, man, oh man, it's good to be back. And there's so much to talk about, man. God, football, man. We made it through the dog days of summer. We got football. We got football. We got Thursday football, Friday football in Brazil's, Saturday college football, Sunday football, Monday night football to our ears, and I couldn't have it any other way. Stories on the field, off the field, so much to talk about. Let me go ahead and get this out of the way before we even start. We will get this Scottie D real quick.
Oh, he throws the pin down. Oh shoot, let's go. Let's get it.
47-10.
Just come on, man.
47-10. Carolina Panthers y'all don't care about my mental well-being, do you?
Mine neither.
I tell myself every single year not to let this team dictate how I feel about me inside. And they just rip my heart out every single time. Against the Saints, got Derek Carr. You know what? My
body Eddie, you remember body,
the other guy
dancing in September, body
the money man
never
singing
was a
Scottie D. Ladies and gentlemen,
I sang that one last year, but I love that. I love September. I love that song, Earth, Wind, and Fire. I love it. I love this time of year.
And he is the money man, Scottie D.
I love it. And let me just, since you wanted to start off with a little tidbit about your team and how bad they made you feel, let me express a similar sentiment with my own team. Leave it to Mr. Jared Jones. Leave it to Mr. Jared Jones to wait until 2 hours before kickoff of the opening day to announce that Dak Prescott is getting a 4-year extension. That is the perfect way to ruin opening day for the Cowboys fans before the ball is even brought out of the wrappers. That is absolute perfection. Mr. Jared Jones, I hand it to you for perfection on how to ruin opening day before it starts. That was wonderful. No need to try to extend the guy back in April before the draft and spread out the cap hit so you can go all in and get free agents. No. Let's just hold everyone hostage all summer, giving us false hope that maybe, just maybe, Dak is going to reach free agent on the last year of his deal. The way McCarthy's on the last end of his deal. The way CeeDee Lamb is sitting out waiting for a contract. So now Mr. Jared Jones decided to make Dak the highest paid player in NFL history to go along with the second highest paid receiver in the NFL. And he's going to do the same for Micah Parsons, and all this for a team that can't win a playoff game. Okay, let's move on to opening day, boys. Woohoo!
And with that being said, I ain't got nothing else. Hell, I can't follow both y'all. With that being said, let's go ahead and hop right into it. The top of the order.
All right, let's get this thing started. Here it is, the top of the order.
Well, in case you've been on the rock for the past, 5 to 6 minutes of this podcast, football is back, and it started with the game in Brazil between the Eagles and the Packers. Good game. But I'm sorry, that was Friday, but it really started Thursday with a thriller between the Ravens and the Chiefs. And who knew you could lose a game all because of one big toe?
Big toe.
Big toe. We're gonna call that the big toe game. Yeah, we are going to call that the big toe game. With that being said, fellas, since we record on Monday for Tuesday, we haven't seen the Jets and the 49ers tonight. However, with football being back, what are your thoughts on the NFL being back? And what was your game of the week? Scottie D, I already know what yours was.
Yeah. I'll let you guys go first on the game of the week. Let me just share a couple quick thoughts.
Go ahead.
Quick hitters. Go ahead. Some takeaways. Good weekend for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They lose their starting quarterback. They're the only team in the division to not score a touchdown on Sunday, and the only team to win in that division. So the Steelers, no touchdowns, first place in the division, 1-0. That was crazy. I saw a lot of the same thing that I expressed. Yeah, with the backup quarterback. I saw a lot of the same things that I feel every year week one, and that is that NFL teams are not taking advantage of preseason because they go out and they look terrible. They look rusty. They look like they haven't played together in about 8 months or so. And that's because they haven't. And you need to maybe one coach will finally one day say, you know what? I'm going to have an advantage on week one because I'm going to play my starters 3 series, just a couple snaps in preseason just to get them more ready for the game. That's just another observation because as great as the Chiefs and Ravens game was the other night, it wasn't great football yet. They just, teams are not in sync. You can't be. You just can't be. Here's one.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you can jump in. Here's one that maybe you guys might want to jump in on this, but am I the only one here that watched the Cowboys and Browns game? Did you guys watch any of that game?
No, I was at work.
I watched that in its entirety.
Okay,
yeah, I watched it in its entirety.
All right, then I wanted to make a point that during that game, we witnessed some absolute top of the line, phenomenal broadcasting from the booth.
Oh boy!
And I got to tell you,
boy,
Kevin Burkhardt put on a clinic on how to carry a brand new broadcaster. I went to school for this last year. I spent 2 semesters last year studying broadcasting. I will tell you, Tom Brady was not very good in his first time out, and that's to be expected because I tell you, guys, it's not that easy. The first game I did last year was a Saturday morning girls volleyball game, and to have to do over again, I would do a lot of things very different. It's not easy to jump into this profession. And I actually thought Brady got a little bit better as the game went along. I thought he started off absolutely atrocious and got better as the game went along. But part of that is Kevin Burkhardt knew what was going on. This guy is a really good broadcaster. And I felt like throughout the day, he was kind of teeing it up for Brady, asking him questions that would play into his strengths, that got him talking. And he sounded, to me, more comfortable when he was responding to how Burkhardt was setting him up than he did early in the game when he was just kind of commenting on some of the action that he saw and trying to throw his own thoughts. He sounded a little bit shaky, like he was nervous. And I mean, that's to be expected. He's doing his first game ever in front of a national audience. It's the Cowboys and the Browns, 2 teams that are playoff teams from a year ago. A lot of eyes on this game. Dak gets a contract and more attention's focused on this game. And so, of course, you're going to be a little bit nervous, even if you're the greatest quarterback to ever play the game, because this isn't you playing the game. I just wanted to say kudos to Kevin Burkhardt for making that broadcast get better as the day went along, because I thought that he was the key to that. And that is the difference between a good and bad broadcaster in one broadcast, but he just showed you the strength of one. So that's just a couple observations I had for opening day. Be live, share.
I definitely appreciate you commenting on that, because it was one of those, and I'm actually glad that you put it on perspective, because I wanted just to rip Tom Brady to shreds. I said the whole time, 37.5 million. That's what we get. 37.5 million.
That's the whole thing. The price tag. Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. So I appreciate you putting that in perspective, that this is his first live broadcast, and it's a whole different ball game. Like, having that chemistry, knowing when to cue in, when to sit back, when to comment, that does not come easily at all. I want to do it. I know it's difficult, especially doing something on like literally live is a whole other ball game, because you get one chance.
Right.
That
it's
play
not rehearsed.
hits.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That play hits. You got to be ready to comment it. Boom, boom, boom. Drop that knowledge that you have and everything like that. That was the one thing that I think Burkhardt adjusted really well, because he saw that Tom Brady was struggling with it. He didn't know when to come in, when to chime in, when to comment on stuff. He's like, and so he literally, there was times like, all right, yeah, Tom, what you think about that? Tom, well, what'd you see right there? And I was like, okay. And at the same note, I was clowning.
Yeah,
Tom
he was
Brady,
putting it into things like that he could relate. Like, he knew that he would have an answer for, as a guy who played quarterback for a long time.
Right.
He was giving him opportunities to work to his strengths. I thought he did a great job, because I texted you in the first quarter and I said, this ain't good. This is not good.
I was definitely listening to some of the audio, and I'm over here like, oh boy, 37.5 million. But you know what? I thank you, Scottie D, for putting that. I'm not gonna clown on Tom Brady the entire episode. Now, what I am gonna do, let's go ahead and get this out of the way. NFL, I want you to see me real quick. I'm sick of you.
Oh,
I understood the first year when Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift were in a relationship. Understood that you wanted to reach out to a different demographic. It's year 2. There's no need. They're here. We get it. Taylor Swift is in the stands. Travis Kelce, they love each other, blah, blah, blah. Swifties, demographic, all that stuff is year 2. You don't have to. Not every single catch, not every single react. Come on now.
I think we need more.
Stop it. Stop it immediately.
More Taylor.
No.
Give me more Taylor.
I got drunk, because every time they showed her, I drank something. It was not a good idea, because I didn't think they were going to do it that bad. They did it. They're getting worse.
It was like, they get rid of you. I belong with him.
Oh, man. Here's another observation I had. For the majority part, the NFL teams don't give a damn about this new kickoff rule. They don't care. They're like, you know what? Give them the ball on the 30. Like, that's what I saw over and over again from multiple different teams. They said, you know what? I'm kicking it out of bounds. I ain't got time to deal with this. Put it on the 30. Let's go through it. Ain't no reason to be all huffing and puffing for this little nobody move until he catch the ball stuff. Man, oh man. I learned something, that if you kick it short of the 20-yard line, they blow the play dead, and you get it at the 40. I'm like, well, okay. Did not know that.
What was that? Say that again?
Yeah, if you kick the ball and it does not make it to the 20-yard line, every time they kick the ball, you see that target zone. It's between the 20 and the goal line. If you are short
then
of the 20-yard line, it gets blown dead and it goes to the 40, just like if you kicked it out of bounds.
Oh, okay. And conversely, I learned too that if you kick it short of the end zone and then it goes through the end zone, you get it to 20. You actually get like the kicking team gets like a bonus. I saw that in the Cowboys Browns game where Brandon Aubrey kicked the ball and I think it landed on the 5-yard line and it rolled through the back of the end zone, and the Browns got the ball to 20 instead of the 25 or 30 because I guess that's just an incentive to play the ball.
They didn't play the ball. Okay.
I had no idea that was a rule. I learned that as a new one. So we're still learning the new kickoff thing going, and I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. I'm still it's still fresh in my mouth. I haven't chewed it up yet and figured out if I like the flavor.
But then I heard something else too. I heard that if the kicker kicks the ball on the kickoff all the way up through the uprights, the players still can't move. They get to put the ball on the 50-yard line, and they come out with sharks, razor blades, lemon juice, and swords.
They should do the tiger thing. We suggested tigers before.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Oh man, you stupid.
Yeah, all these damn rules, all these rules inside the rules.
That,
yeah. Man, my takeaway from week one is what the hell happened to the Bengals first and foremost, because that was one of the first games I've had a chance to witness. You know, the surprise of the week, if you will. New England comes in and they beat the Bengals, and they had a Mike Gesicki corner touchdown wiped away because he didn't maintain full possession of it. He was up dancing badly, doing the gritty and all that, and they was like, oh, no, wait a minute. And once they overturned that touchdown, man, it was just.
Obviously, that was a touchdown. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think that was a touchdown. I think that was a bad call, but I'm sitting
Wait,
here.
What was a touchdown?
The Mike Gesicki touchdown against the corner touchdown against the Patriots in the second quarter, was it? Yeah,
they negated that touchdown, and then right after that, they ended up fumbling the ball right before he got into the end zone, and so they never got any score out of that. And New England ends up winning by 8 points. Was it 8 points?
16-10.
Yeah. That's a game changer.
Yeah,
that was a game changer. I looked at it. I'm like, it looked like a catch to me. But on to that point with Cincinnati, it's tough. It's tough when you have 0.5 wide receivers, because you think Jamar Chase was fully into the game with not getting an extension.
Hell no, you can look at him and tell. And T. Higgins was had a hammy issue.
Yeah, T. Higgins.
So Higgins is out, and Tyler Boyd is gone.
Yep.
Joe Burrow hasn't played since early October. Joe Mixon's gone. And this is a perfect example of what I was saying, where you got a team that hasn't played together really at all. You take advantage of the preseason. Although the Bengals are 1-9 in the last 6 years, I think, or whatever. 1-4 on opening days, and they've only won like an additional game in week 2 since Zach Taylor's been the head coach. So the Bengals don't win no matter what on opening day.
They don't
week
start
2.
well
and
at
they're
all.
and they're playing at Kansas City this coming week. So good luck to you on that one as well. And I expect, and this, by the time you see or hear this episode, Monday Night Football will be over. I'm not expecting good things from the Jets and 49ers either. I think that's going to be a sloppy, take the under kind of game. I'll be surprised if tomorrow, when you're watching this, someone's like, man, that was a great 31-28 kind of game last night. Because I just don't think that everyone's so concerned with not hurting their players in preseason that they're not utilizing it to get your starters tuned up at all.
And speaking on that, I got another rant, because I'm 47-10. If Patrick Mahomes can play in preseason, Bryce Young, you better play in preseason. Like, come on, bro. Patrick Mahomes is arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and he still works on that chemistry during the preseason. Bryce Young, Dave Canales, Carolina Panthers organization. Why? He should be getting every rep. I don't care. Even if it's just short slants or whatever, he should be getting reps in preseason. Work on his strengths. Like, it was embarrassing to watch that game. And let me see if I can focus on some more of the positives. Man, it was.
I said before you live, we went out there and got our ass kicked, handed to us.
Division rival.
First game of the season. We got destroyed. I'm like, okay, we might put up a little fight. Okay, the Saints, they got a few pieces here, and I think we've gotten better over the offseason. But no, it's the same old, pardon my French, but it looks like the same shit I saw last year. I ain't gonna lie to you. The same shit I saw last year.
Carr looking like an MVP candidate.
59-yard bomb to Shaheed, and
he's good. He's good.
And that only did me good on my fantasy team because I got Shaheed. But seeing that, I'm like, and it was halftime. It was like 30-0. I'm like, man, come on. Like,
I think we scored a field goal. Before half. It was 30-3.
Hell, I can't tell.
And then they came out, scored another. It was 37-3. I don't believe it. Oh,
it was just,
you know what?
We went to New Orleans, had some damn jambalaya, red beans, and rice bouillon, and got boat raced. That's what the hell happened. Like, I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say this. David Tepper, your line of thought and your line of decision making, I don't know what the hell it is. I think we need an owner that's a football owner. David Tepper, not so much, because his patience is about as thin as a damn fuse on a firecracker. All right. 2 years and you get out. He gave Frank Wright 1 year. He got the hell out. You had your man and Steve Wilkes, which you should have kept. All right. Then you went and gave Matt Rule a bunch of money, an insane contract, which made no sense. He probably still down in Nebraska getting paid still. And here we are. I said it once and I said it again. 2 things should have happened within the last handful of years. You should have kept Steve Wilkes because them boys was believing, and you should have picked C.J. Stroud. Okay, I'm done. Go ahead.
I understand it. Man, can we talk about that big toe some more?
Yes, let's talk about the big toe of Isaiah Likely.
That's how you start an NFL season. Thursday and Friday were both banger of games like that.
I'll tell you, I'll make that my game of the week. Well, let's talk about that one. That's
okay, let's do that.
We'll start the first one of the season, which, by the way, it took the NFL exactly 1 game to give us a really good game. The opening weekend of college football, it took us until Sunday night, LSU and USC, to get a good game. So that's why I like NFL better. But anyway, yeah, what a finish that was. What a finish.
Man, here's the thing. Okay, I got a couple of questions though. Even though it was an impressive game, Isaiah Likely is that dude, by the way.
Oh, he good.
He's that dumb dude.
Big toe.
Oh, boy.
He's a big old dummy. He's a big old dummy.
He's that big toe. He's gonna learn.
Well, I'm not talking about the big toe. I'm not talking about the big toe. That was a tough play.
You talking about what he said after the game?
What he said after the game.
What did he say?
Ridiculous. He said if that was the best that they got, they ain't going to want us in the playoffs. Something to that effect.
That's what he said.
Something to that effect. We didn't play our best, and if that's the best they got, then
don't do that.
No, it's dumb. You always say players don't need bulletin board material to get themselves fired up or incentivized. But you know what? Sometimes the great ones do. If you remember during the what was the little Bulls documentary thing we watched, The Last Dance. Remember, Michael Jordan actually made something up. He got mad at a guy who didn't say anything to him or about him. Got mad at that guy, and he went out and torched him just because he needed something to get himself fired up.
Was it LeBradford Smith?
It may have. I can't remember the whole story.
And I took that personal.
Yeah, yes. So you don't think if these two are beating in the playoffs that Kelsey and Mahomes and a speedy little Xavier, where they're going to be sitting around talking, say, yeah, these guys disrespected us, man. They disrespected us. You know, they've beat them the last 2 times in a row in the playoffs, and then opening. They're going to use that as fuel. Not that you need fuel when you're that great, but why give it to them? Why say something like that? Sorry, Big Toe. That was a bad statement. Go ahead.
We're gonna be calling it Big Toe for the rest of the year.
It's big BTL, Big Toe Likely, with a big ass mouth.
Oh man! but outside of what he said, he had one hell of a game. For a tight end to be like, hey, Mark Andrews, don't even worry about it, dog. I got it. Isaiah Likely showed up and showed out, and he's a big toe away from being like the next big thing. I'm gonna go ahead and let the 2 of y'all know, and everybody else in our fantasy football league. I know everybody's trying to pick him up. I know this whole waiver wire thing. I know. I'm trying to pick him up. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not even gonna front. If you're a fantasy football owner and you're not trying to pick up Isaiah Likely, you're a fool. Because he's going to ball out this year. I can tell you that much. But, man, I'm gonna say this about that game as well when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs, and I'm gonna say it indirectly. Buffalo Bills, stop trading with Chiefs. Stop it. You traded with the Chiefs, they got Patrick Mahomes. You traded with the Chiefs again, they got Xavier Worthy. That's gonna be dangerous. With Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, I see they didn't put him on the exempt list, so he was out there just balling. I thought he was gonna get at least six to 8 game suspension, but I guess they're waiting to let that play out. The boys are balling. Kansas City's dangerous, and to the Ravens, to the point of the Ravens played a good game. They were really close. They stayed into it. They're gonna make noise like they always do. Just wonder what they're gonna do in the playoffs.
In a nutshell, you saw the difference between a really good quarterback and a great quarterback, because the really good quarterback couldn't complete 2 passes consecutively that would have tied the game, and the great quarterback completed one to himself that basically saved the game, where he jumped up and took the ball off of 2 people, and
God Almighty,
that could have been a game saver, but just by doing that.
And I'm how did Lamar Jackson run the ball more with Derrick Henry on the team? How did that happen?
See, I think that's going to be a problem for the Ravens. They had 2nd and long, and he drops back and then breaks the pocket and runs. And they had 3rd and long, he drops back, breaks the pocket and runs, and then has 4th and short, needs 2 yards. He threw, will pass for 1. That to me, that's always going to be like the problem with the Ravens. Is that I heard a guy on ESPN radio, I don't know who it was, said yesterday, he summed it up perfectly. Lamar Jackson will make a play that nobody else in the world is capable of making, but he'll miss plays that everyone should make.
Right. Man, oh man, it's like they're on the cusp. I think they're going to do great this year. Like I said, I have them in my players. I have them winning the division. But hey, it was such a good way to start off.
It was. It was a good, entertaining game. What's your game of the week, B-Lab? Give your game of the week.
Oh, my game of the week. That was a great. Like I said, that was a great way to start. I honestly, I got to go with the Sunday night game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was really good.
Oh man,
overtime.
It was just overtime. You had 2 teams that traded with each other. Now you're seeing all the trade pieces come together for the Lions, where the Rams are still a decent team. Matt Stafford's still a decent quarterback, but out of those pieces, like those draft picks that the Lions got, they got Jahmyr Gibbs, they got Sam Laporta, they got Jamison Williams. You're like, Jay.
Aiden Hutchinson really was the biggest factor to me, I think, in the entire game.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
That boy's good.
The Lions are poised. They're ready. I believe. Like I said, I have the Lions winning the Super Bowl, and nothing changed after watching that game. It was a hard-fought game. Like I said, I have the Rams winning the division. This is gonna be a rematch. I think this is gonna be a rematch.
We could see that game again.
Think it could easily be your NFC Championship game. I will say this.
I said that last night. I was like, yeah. I won't be surprised if we see these 2 teams in the.
I don't know. Now Dak is signed. Things are different.
Gosh, almost cussed.
Cowboy. I'm not even gonna lie to you. The Cowboys look really good.
That was not any kind of barometer because the Browns looked so bad. So
I did not know their offensive line was that bad. Michael Parsons spent half the game in the Browns backfield. Yeah, Deshaun Watson was running for his life. Like,
yeah, the Browns are down to offensive starters and no Nick Chubb.
Oh,
yeah. So they're down to linemen. They were down to offensive linemen. Had some backups in there, but when you got
terrible start.
Yeah, but you got 11 from heaven and Michael Parsons and Deshaun Watson. Like, so I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Me and my manager and a few other guys had a conversation at work yesterday. Deshaun Watson gonna be the reason quarterbacks ain't gonna get no guaranteed money, or teams are gonna be cautious about signing people. Houston was a long time ago.
It was.
Or they're gonna get that guaranteed money that Dak Prescott got, because it was an interesting number, $231 million guaranteed. That was $1 million more than Deshaun Watson got guaranteed. Yep. I think that's not a coincidence.
That's just like Jamar Chase said.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, because it didn't even make any sense to me. I think there was also a part that boggled my mind, but it really doesn't boggle my mind anymore, is the fact that the extension was $240 million. Why not make the whole thing guaranteed? Why just $9 million left on? I think that was a purpose behind that. Like, hey, we ain't gonna give you everything guaranteed. We ain't doing the Deshaun Watson. We'll at least give you more than what he got because you are a better quarterback than him. That man, the bar has been set. Who will be the next one to cash in like that?
That's just what Jamar Chase said. Jamar Chase said, I want to be the highest paid wide receiver. I don't care if it's $1 or 1 penny more than Justin Jefferson. I was like,
ask for more than Justin Jefferson, though.
I'm like, Jamar, you good, but you ain't. But Jay Jettas is something different. He's something special. That's different there. All right, fellas, with that being said, that's the end of the week 1 conversation. Excited. Football is back. Now let's go on to college football after we come back for the break. Because guess what it is, y'all? You know what time it is for. I'll give you the intro on the other side of the break.
Yo, Button, hit it.
No, not that.
No.
Stay tuned to the SportsBros Podcast. We're going to talk college football. You know what's next. Stay. Don't you dare go away. Right back. Ladies and gentlemen, animal trainers, doulas, sanitation workers, kitchen managers, physicians, and tattletales. This is the Be Live Top 5.
Oh, man, we are in full swing when it comes to college football, and I love it because we as fans, we get to do our own thing. You know, we don't have to follow the script that they put out in front of us, telling us, oh, we have to go by the AP polls or the coaches poll or the college football playoff predictions and blah, blah, blah. We're way too early into the game to talk about the playoff predictions as of right now, but I at least get to bring to you my favorite part, the Be Live Top 5, where I give you a fan perspective into what I think is the top 5 in college football as of today. Let me go ahead and start off with this, and I'm gonna bring it up in the second segment as well. Notre Dame, I will never trust you again. I will never trust you again. Because I put you in my top 5 last week, and you hurt me. You hurt me deeply. I thought, oh, these boys played a tough game against Texas A&M. To the point where Northern Illinois, really can't do that.
The Salukis.
God,
Huskies.
So
Huskies?
Yeah, Northern Illinois. Yeah.
Who are the Salukis?
Southern Illinois.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Still a dog. Still a dog.
It's just because the show. Notre Dame should have lost that one.
Just because.
Yeah. To a Saluki or a Husky.
Number 5. This is going to be a shocker. Number 5, I have Alabama.
Roll Tide.
Alabama, just saying, I know they have you ranked. I believe they have them ranked 4th in the AP poll. It was 21-13 in the 4th quarter. And South Florida was driving. It was 4th and goal at the 4-yard line, and they opted to kick a field goal. They could have tied the game. The only reason why the scoreboard looks a little different than the game was actually way too close for anybody's comfort. I'll ask Uncle Max about that because I know he wasn't happy. I'm not convinced that Alabama is as strong as people say they are. Kalen DeBoer is that dude, but I mean, you expected just a little bit of a drop off when it came to Nick Saban to Kalen DeBoer. It's just natural. Alabama, hey, that was South Florida. Don't do that against other teams in the ACC. I'm the SEC, because you might not be able to recover. Which goes into number 4. There's going to be a slight trend in this. Number 4, Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss. They haven't missed. They have not missed. They've been coming out and they've been doing exactly what they're supposed to do when it comes to lesser talent. I don't see any. I see impact players when it comes to Ole Miss. I see them making a lot of noise in the SEC. Number 3, Ohio State. I had Ohio State at number 3 last week, and even though the AP poll had them second, because I wasn't convinced. I wasn't convinced that they. Hell no. All right, let's not do that. Let's not do that. I'm sorry to our listeners in the Ohio region, but I don't care for Ohio State at all, and I will never stray away from that fact. But I gotta respect where respect is due. I give them the number 3 spot, and because I just believe that my number 2 team is just better, and I think they're starting. They showed up and showed out to the actual pleasure of Ohio State fans, because my number 2 team, them Texas Longhorns, put a beat down on Michigan. It was a clinic. It wasn't even close. You could clearly see that Michigan had lost 24 players from the last year's championship team. And sometimes you can't just give people the benefit of the doubt because they're the defending national champions. You got to see what's in front of you. And Michigan, I don't think it's going. Ryan Day might be able to keep it out, because I don't think Michigan's going to beat Ohio State. And more to the success of the Texas Longhorns, Quinn Ewers should be on everybody's Heisman list. Everybody's. And then number 1, is anybody going to beat Georgia? I already predicted that Texas would be the one that beat Georgia, but until then, after that clinic that they put on my Clemson Tiger team, I'm so hurt. And then Clemson and Cade Klubnik decides to show up and show out and score 56 points against App State in the first half. Klubnik with 7 touchdowns, 5 throwing, 2 rushing. I was like, I needed that last week, but maybe that's just a testament to how great Georgia is. Georgia's number 1. Fellas, what say you?
I disagree. Go ahead,
Scottie D. No, you go ahead, Scottie D.
I disagree with Georgia being number 1. I think it has to be Ole Miss, because they've won 2 games by a score of 128-3. They won 76-0 the first week. 76 points, that's more than anybody else. And the team they played, Mighty Furman, scored 0. And then they followed that up by going easy on Middle Tennessee State, 52-3. Both games, they were more than halfway to 100. Both of them. That's number 1. They're the best.
Off of points alone, Scottie D?
Yeah. Yeah, they scored 128 points in 2 weeks.
Georgia only allowed 3 points to a team that scored 66 the next week.
Clemson. Clemson should be number 2 this week, because they scored 66 against that. 66-20.
Here's the thing.
Tennessee scored 51 points this past week against NC State. That's a pretty big feat. I'll tell you what. Here's a team to look out for, and they're not top 5 yet. Southern Cal. I think I might be buying that team with a good opening night win against LSU. Mm-hmm. A quarterback who looks really impressive. What's his name? Moss or something? Melky Moss or I don't know. I'm making that up. But
I'm drawing a blank. Milky Moss. We're gonna roll Milky Moss then. Milky Moss sounds good.
Miller Moss.
Okay, I was close.
Miller Moss. Not Miller Mott.
Not Milky.
Not Miller Mott, but Miller Moss. We had the same joke, guy.
Not Miller Mott, not Milky Moss. Miller Moss. Okay. You know what? I think we ought to go with Milky. I like Milky Moss. Milky Moss looks pretty good, beating LSU on opening night and then just ramming it right down the throats of Utah State. Yeah, that team is pretty good. And it looks like they're off this week and then play at Michigan. So that could be a good game, not this week, but the following week. Michigan obviously looking vulnerable after a beatdown from Texas. And can I say something having nothing to do with this, but having to do with college football?
Real quick.
Okay, I can't do it real quick. Go ahead, Eddie.
Well,
I got something that's got my boxers in a wad. So go ahead, and then we'll see. Well,
go ahead and dig them drawers out first, and I'll see what I got to say. Go ahead and take care of that.
Okay,
ladies and gentlemen, we're back.
We here now.
All right,
we're here now.
Okay, so last year I go to see Cincinnati and Pitt here in Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati won pretty convincingly, and I was expecting the same thing this year, and I put the game on, and it's halfway through the third quarter, and Cincinnati's beating Pitt 27-6. Pitt then scores a touchdown, makes it 27-13. Get the ball back and score another touchdown. Now we got us a game, and it's 27-19. And Coach Pat Narduzzi elects to go for 2. You're down 27-19. You kick the extra point, and you're only down 7. Instead, he elects to go for 2. They don't get it. So now they're down 27-19. And miraculously, they get the ball back and score again. Now they have to go for 2 to tie it, and they don't get it. They're down 27-25, and the game should be tied by taking the simple extra points. Analytics say if you're down by that margin in the fourth quarter, you have a good chance of getting at least 1 out of 2 2-point conversions. Well, they got neither. Pat Narduzzi has been coaching a long time before analytics was even out. Why do you listen to analytics? Kick the extra point. Miraculously, they get the ball back again and score a field goal and win the game. 28-27 is the final score. Pitt wins, but not because they did a couple stupid things. I don't listen to analytics in order to doozy. And earlier this afternoon, Pitt's athletic director Heather Lyke got fired, and I don't know if it's because she was looking for other opportunities and wasn't focused on Pitt, or if maybe just the chancellor said I had enough of her, we're not getting along, or maybe because he said he hired a dude who's more worried about analytics than he is about kicking extra points. I don't know what happened. Rant over. That's it. Go ahead. Sorry.
Had Scottie D about to crash out. Is that how the new kids say it?
Yeah.
Had him stressed. I didn't know that was because you texted that day and that you were pissed.
Yeah, that's why.
I didn't know why. That now I know, and I'm like, oh,
kick the extra point.
Makes sense. The hell with analytics. All right,
if you want to go for 2 to win the game, do it after you're in that opportunity. Don't put your pressure on yourself to have to get 2 the next time. Kick the extra point.
Yep.
That ain't it.
That's nope. That is definitely not it. Michigan goes all the way down to 17th. Notre Dame goes all the way down to 18th. Let's see who enters the top 10. The Huskies of Northern Illinois got an interesting pepper point about them later on. Boston College, Nebraska, after they thump Colorado. Oh boy, that's another story within itself. And Oklahoma 15th, Southern Cal 11th, and South Carolina beats Kentucky by a lot in Lexington. All right, coming up next. Oh, my bad. I'm out of practice.
Before you go anywhere, I'm gonna sneak this in real quick because I always have a top 5. I also have a not top 5.
Get it in,
it's gonna be real quick because I know we're pressed for time with this. Because the aforementioned coming in at number 5, Michigan. Yeah, you're not. I don't know why they were ranked that high, and that's the true definition of being overrated. Man, like I said, Texas put quick work to them. Oof. Number 4, Oregon. You've been struggling. You're 2-0, but you can't struggle. You can't be like what's the best way to put it?
They're undefeated. They're 7th in the country. They won twice.
Boise State
won.
Almost
they won
group of 5. Group of 5. Boise
I tell you
State.
what, if you keep going and Furman after losing 76-0's on this top 5, and Oregon is
not top 5, like I said. Oregon, you need to beat these teams more convincingly. Boise State, then again, is my group of 5 making it to the playoff team. So, hey, there it is. Number 3, you got to win as a ranked team in Kansas. You did not, losing to unranked Illinois. Kansas, number 3, number 2. And number 2 means more to me than number 1. And it's even a pepper point. As much as it pains me to say this, Dion, shut the hell up.
Uh-oh.
This was supposed to be your statement win right here. This is supposed to be Shedeur Sanders going against a legit team. You're going to make some noise this year. You went from 1 to 4 wins. This year, you're going to be eligible for a bowl game, and I see absolutely nothing. You've done no help. No help to yourself on the offensive line or the defensive line. You don't have it in the trenches, and Nebraska showed you. And them boys, they're corn huskers. These all they do is just eat and just breed big. Yeah, they beat you in the trenches. Mm-hmm. Dylan Raiola, aka Patrick Mahomes Jr., just came in and showed you why he is the real deal, why he was the number 1 recruit in the nation. Nebraska may just be the truth, but Colorado is not. It's a bunch of hype. I've tried. If you're not, you gotta win in the trenches. You knew that. This whole transfer portal thing ain't working. Shedeur Sanders is going to have a successful career in the NFL. Travis Hunter is that dude. But if you're not winning in the trenches, there you go. That's why Colorado should not be getting all this hype. And, of course, number 1 is Notre Dame, Northern Illinois. You got to win that game.
No
Notre Dame, that's my not top 5.
What about Chattanooga? They lost 69-3 to Tennessee in week 1.
Chattanooga is not ranked. Nobody.
Miami 56, Florida A&M 9. Florida A&M, they got to be in that not top 5.
The Rattlers.
No.
All right. With that being said,
Western Michigan goes down 56-0 to Ohio State.
Huh. I was at work the last
not top 100.
Yawn. All right. With that being said, as I'm looking at my cell phone, because I might get a watch, I may not get a watch. All depends. Guess what time it is?
Yo, Button, hit it.
I'm glad you asked. It's time for our favorite portion of the show, the Choice of the Voices. And with that being said, Scottie D, say it.
Yo, Button, hit it.
Choices of the Voices coming at you right here on the SportsBros Podcast. You ain't worth 2 dead flies smashed.
And now, our favorite part of the show, the Choices of the Voices.
Once again, thank you to the wonderful and
ever so lovely Miss Button
for introducing our favorite portion of the show, the Choices of the Voices. Y'all know how we do this. We ask y'all the question, y'all give us the answer, and we read it right here on the SportsBros Podcast, right here on Choices of the Voices. Scottie D, with that being said, what's on Tickety Tap for this week?
Well, we kind of already went through our answers, and we'll quickly recap them. But we asked, who are you predicting to make the playoffs in the NFL this year that missed last year, and who made it last year that you say will be out this year? And we had a couple responses there, Eddy Kool.
All right. And with that being said, let's go ahead and hop right into it. Trey Dizzle says the Bucks are out in the NFC, and the Bills are out in the AFC, and Dak is out in Dallas. To his defense, this answer was posted before Dak got his money, so he might have changed his tune. Or who knows? He may have still been the same.
Before Mr. Jarrett ruined our Sunday.
He ruined your Sunday.
Me and Eddy Kool had this discussion before we began recording, because we were talking about how Trey Dizzle, you've been extremely critical of Dak Prescott, even to the tune of every time you answer Choice of the Voices question is something that has something to do with Dak. And we were talking about if it has run its course. In the tune of 4 years.
He did that one time.
$240 million and $231 million guaranteed. Guess what, player? You are stuck with Dak Prescott. There's nothing you can do at this point in time. It's over.
Yeah.
Trey Dizzle. is over.
His whole career.
The jokes, you can't even joke about it anymore.
Oh,
I blame Trey Lance.
6, yep,
He
absolutely.
threw 5 picks in his last start.
yep.
And Jarrett said, "Oh my goodness, I better sign Dak."
Yeah.
Gotta
I
sign
got
him
problem.
immediately.
Yeah. Hey,
So Dak can thank Trey Lance for that big contract.
Dak is just sitting on the sideline like,
yep. Every time the ball got picked off, he heard the cash register. Ching,
Yep.
ching, 5 times.
Trey Dizzle.
Yeah, Trey Lance come on the sidelines. Dak's like, "It'll be all right, brother. It'll be all right, brother." In the back of his head, more money, more money, more money.
Oh,
more money. Hey, yo, who's the wrestler that said it best? Sorry about your damn luck.
The Cowboy James Storm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about your damn luck.
That was perfect.
all right, can we move on? I'm right here.
He said, "I'm right."
I can hear you.
We can't be talking like this when kids are in the room.
Brad Thomas says, "It pains me to say Atlanta may run the South for the next 2 to 3 years. I think the Texans regress as well."
After what we saw with the Falcons yesterday, I don't know, boy. I don't know.
Boy, they looked iffy after week 1.
We all picked the Falcons to win the division.
You know, that was the most lopsided series, I think, in NFL history, the Steelers and Falcons. Like, the Falcons have beaten the Steelers like once, and that was like in 1973, something silly like that. And
yeah.
And let me just say this, and you guys know my opinion on the Steelers. I'm not a Steeler fan, but TJ Watt looked like a one-man wrecking crew once.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Holy cow. I mean, he was unstoppable. He was like Superman out there, like flying around the field with no cape on.
I'm telling you, if Pittsburgh makes the playoffs this year, he's going to be a part of it, and one of those 2 quarterbacks is going to be a part of it. That defense and one of those 2 quarterbacks. Everything else is, I'm not trying to discount the Steelers, but if you have a shot to make the playoffs, you have got to hope that TJ Watt stays healthy. And that bastard was the one that put Cam Newton on his shoulder and changed his career forever. TJ Watt, I can't stand you. All right.
Mr. Jarrett picked Taco instead of
Taco Shaw.
Anyway, moving on again.
And he's somewhere Taco Bell eating tacos. Anywho's, all right, we got Tony Bowen.
Scott, you had a great week. Like y'all won, and y'all won convincingly. Come on.
Oh, come on. All Tony Bogan.
TB Tony Bogan. He says, "I hate saying this as a Saints fan, but the Falcons will make it." Now we got to remind y'all, a lot of these answers were published before week 1.
Yeah, it's only 1 week this, so let's not change our tune up based on 1 game.
Yeah, that's true. I
once saw the Carolina Panthers win on opening day and didn't win again the rest of the season. That happened.
See, hold on. See, just because you're miserable,
I'm not taking shots.
Just because you remember
Chris Winkie,
you ain't got to drag us into misery. I remember that one. I remember that Chris Winkie in that 1 in 15 year. That is not necessary, sir.
Winky's always a funny name to say. Winkie, Chris Winkie, won the Heisman.
Misery loves company over here. You actually won.
All right.
6.
And
Tony Bogan says,
as far as the AFC, the Bengals will make it and the Steelers will not, but will somehow finish 9-8 because of whatever reasons. You might not be too far off, TB. You might not be too far. You might not. All right, Tom Wynn, he says Atlanta probably in. My pitiful Browns likely 8-9 watching on TV. And then Jeffrey Lewis said Jacksonville in and the Dolphins out.
And he said that before the Dolphins beat Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I'm out of
So B-Live, who you got, man?
Because if you've been following us the past few weeks, you know that we've put out our predictions. And so our predictions fall into exactly who we think that's going to be in, who's going to be out. So on the AFC side of things, I took the Steelers out of the playoff. They're not going to make the playoffs. And I put the Cincinnati Bengals in. This also came before week 1 came out. So I'm already struggling because the Steelers found a way to win their game, and the Bengals look like a shell of their former selves. Now Burrow's healthy, but Chase doesn't want to play until he gets paid. Pay the man. On the NFC side of things, I have the Falcons winning the division. I have the Bears making the wild card. So those two teams are in, and so I have to replace it. I have to kick two teams out, and that was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who won the NFC South last year, which they looked really good this past week. But San Francisco 49ers, I think that with all the contract talks and all the things, all the extracurriculars, I think that the Rams are just a better team. And I think the 49ers are on the outside looking in. That's my crazy take, but that's where I'm at with it. Fellas, Eddy Kool, what you got? What you say?
All right. So I did say, as far as AFC goes, I'm gonna be live. The Bengals make it, the Steelers don't. All right, because I don't know what the hell I watched this Sunday with the Bengals and the Steelers. We gonna see. We gonna see. Breaking news. Puka Nacua has been placed on injured reserve.
Jeez.
Yeah, according to Sean McVay, he says the Rams wide receiver will miss at least 4 games with a PCL injury. Yep. So fantasy orders with Puka, you better watch out. And real quick, I watched an interesting small little mini documentary on Puka Nacua, and he got a bunch of brothers, and they're Samoan. So that's not the only Samoan dynasty running around in the world of sports. All right, so let's see what we have here.
And you had the Cowboys out.
Yep, I had the Cowboys out. And who did I get to put in there? I said what's the team that didn't make it last year? Oh, I'm drawing a blank. This ain't good.
The Bears.
Yes,
No.
The Cowboys out.
You have the Buccaneers still in, but not winning the division.
Yeah, and the Buccaneers. Yeah,
so you had the Falcons in, Cowboys out.
Yeah, Falcons in, Cowboys out. But the way the Falcons look, I swear this is not an overreaction. And I did have a chance to watch the game, and I was like, and I picked you jokes to win the division. So yeah, Cowboys out, Falcons in, Steelers out, Bengals in. But you know what? We got a whole lot more football left to be played. Scottie D, what say you?
I actually have the Steelers out this year and the Bengals in, winning the division, Ravens sliding to the wild card. I put the Chargers in, and I got the Texans out with Jacksonville winning that division. And everyone else, I think I have in. And I have the Packers in as the prediction I made last week, and I don't like that at all with Jordan Love being out for 6 weeks or whatever. I think the Packers are going to have a hard time overcoming this start with Malik Willis as the quarterback. Anyway, that's what the prediction was a couple weeks ago, so we're rolling with what we've already said.
Yep, because Jordan Love, as of today, he'll be out, 6 to 8 weeks with the the MCL strain or whatever?
Yeah, 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, MCL strain, yeah.
Yeah, MCL strain.
It wasn't his ACL, but
very lucky because it looked terrible when that happened.
Yeah. You could see where it popped. Like, I can't believe it was only a strain.
Yeah.
But on top of that, Panthers look terrible. We also lose Derek Brown, and it's saying it's potentially season ending before his meniscus. So yeah, whatever. You know what? I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Let's I'm sad. I got some happy stuff to report
real quick
in our next segment. So let's do that.
Scottie D, what's on tap for next week? Well,
I'm glad you asked, Scottie D. Go ahead.
For next week's topic, we're going to ask, past or present, tell us your favorite in-game NFL broadcast team.
Ooh.
It's probably not going to be Kevin Burkhardt and Tom Brady, if I was to guess, but they're in play. So let's tell us about it. You can go back as far in time as you want, as long as we've had broadcasts. Past or present, favorite in-game broadcast team. That'll give us something to talk about next week.
Scottie D, didn't Don Meredith sing a song at the end of the game?
He did. Turn out the lights. The party's over.
Just close that door and do.
That was a good combo. Don Meredith and Howard Cosell.
Yeah, this is Howard Cosell. We got America's favorite quarterback, John Meredith, over here. And if it gets real bad tonight, Donnie might sing us a song or two. Hey, y'all, that's it for Choice of the Voices. Coming up next, after this break, will be a round of pepper. Coming at you. Be live, grab that grinder. I'm all practice band. Coming at you right here on the Sports Bros Podcast.
Okay, boys, let's bring it home with a round of pepper.
All right, you heard the woman. It's time for us to go home and get what I call the hell up out of here. But before we go, a round of pepper. You know how we do it. 3 topics, rapid fire style, kind of, sort of, not really. Here to engage, enlighten, educate, and entertain. Ooh, I thought that break was going to kill me. The 4 E's in no particular order. With that being said, I'll go first. On this day in history back in 1924, a whole 100 years ago, all right? The New York Giants ripped the Boston Braves 22-1 at the Polo Grounds. Future Baseball Hall of Famer, infielder, Frankie Fritsch goes 6 for 6 before grounding out.
Frankie Fritsch.
Yeah, the Braves got destroyed on this day in history. Over to you, Scottie D.
I like the name Frankie Fritsch. I don't like it as much as Milky Moss. Frankie Fritsch. All right, so I was watching the Fox Boys on Sunday afternoon. You know the panel of the guys, the Jimmy Johnson and Howie Long and Terry Bradshaw. Terry Bradshaw must not have known that he was going to be on TV this week, because he didn't get a haircut, and he looked like the ragged old man who has given up. You know how everybody knows, like, a guy who gets to a certain point in his life where he totally gives up on his appearance, where he's willing to wear like gray sweatpants out everywhere he goes, and it lets his hair and fingernails go. That looked like Terry Bradshaw. It's like, Terry, you're on Fox. You're on the national. Everybody's watching you. Get a haircut, baldy locks. Do better. Be live. Over to you.
Rocking that Junior Hope kid.
Man.
Be laugh.
Did you see that? Did you see how terrible he looked?
Looked bad.
Come on.
I got some. Fellas, I want to let you know real quick. This is one of those rare moments of time where I might have 3 heavy hitters.
Oh.
These all may qualify as third pepper points. But I'm gonna start.
3 heavy hitters.
3 heavy hitters when it comes to pepper.
Well, we must have had a burrito for lunch. Go ahead.
Well, it's been 2 weeks, but I'm gonna hit you with this one. Remember, I had a little rant about Deion Sanders and all the hype and all the talk and everything like that. And I'm like, you need to win games.
Yes.
Well, he took it a step further, where, you know, he's always trying to hype up his son and all this, that, and everything, and Shedeur this, Shedeur that, and he's a star and blah blah blah. Well, it's been reported that if Shedeur Sanders scores a touchdown at a home game in Colorado, that the band, Deion Sanders requested that the band not play the Colorado fight song. He actually wants the PA announcer to play Shedeur's rap single, Perfect Timing, after he scores a touchdown. And the Colorado band director is like, what the hell is going on here? So you want us not to play the Colorado fight song? You want to hear your son's rap single instead? Get what I call the hell up out of here. Stop it immediately, Deion. Come on, let's
I don't like that, bro. I don't like that.
I don't like it at all. Eddy Kool, the ball.
I like that as much as who's the guy? Is Shedeur Sanders the guy who's doing the NFL Super Bowl halftime show now? I heard it. They're doing a rapper this year.
That's K. Dot. That's Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, okay.
And,
I get it.
Boy.
And no Lil Wayne in the city of New Orleans. But anyways,
yeah.
So where does this past week's Notre Dame loss to Northern Illinois rank as far as getting the most expensivest losses, the most expensivest defeats, or the most Expensivest ass cutting.
Expensivest.
Yeah, expensivest.
That's definitely a new word.
Yeah, the most
let it
expensive.
roll.
Watching that 2 Chainz thing on YouTube. Well, let's just say Notre Dame paid Northern Illinois $1.4 million for an ass whipping. Ain't that something? Back in the day, I used to get my butt spanked for free. But nowadays, teams is paying other teams to come to their house, and you want something too, old man? What does the barber say, Scottie D?
Next.
Over to you.
Mike McCarthy, you should have let Aubrey kick the 71-yarder. Be Live, over to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wanted to see that. So bad.
I did too.
Golly. My second pepper point, like I said, I'm coming in with the heavy hitters. Well, it has been announced that week 3 of college football, College Game Day, ESPN College Game Day, is going to Columbia.
Woo!
For the LSU South Carolina game.
Coming down to our place.
Paul Feinbaum is not happy. He's like, what? And he also attributes to the fact that South Carolina beat Kentucky because game day was going to go to Georgia versus Kentucky in Lexington. But since South Carolina came in and disrupted some things, they opted for LSU, South Carolina, and Coot fans are just going wild. Even though it should be Alabama traveling to Wisconsin, I think that's going to be a better game. LSU is going to beat South Carolina by 35 points. Eddy Kool. The ball.
Almost cussed. Over in the WNBA, Angel Reese's rookie season comes to an end as she hurts her wrist. According to ESPN, Angel Reese's sensational rookie campaign for the Chicago Skyheads ended because of a season-ending wrist injury suffered Friday night versus the Sparks. What a year, she posted on social media on Saturday. I never imagined that the last bucket of my rookie season would be a 3-ball. But maybe that was God saying that, hey, you know, it's time for me to give taste what they've been giving y'all and more of them in year 2. So you mean to tell me when she made it 3, the wrist said, plick up? That's a hell of a way to go out.
Her shot is so broken that she actually broke her wrist trying to shooting a 3-pointer.
Yeah. And she made it.
I know.
But
she made it, but
gotta drink more milk, kid. Scottie D, over to you.
Jaden Daniels scored his first touchdown in the NFL on Sunday, cutting the lead to 30-14 against the Buccaneers, and then danced in the end zone. Junior, maybe wait till you take a lead before you start doing an end zone dance. Just would rather see you do it that way. Be Live, finish us up.
Joey Buckets, yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
I still have him as the rookie of the year. Third and final pepper point. Oh boy. You know, I've talked about this ad nauseum when it comes to NFL quarterback contracts. Now to the tune of Dak Prescott getting $60 million a year for 4 years with $231 million guaranteed. But it all started at a place. Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes got paid 4 years, $160 million. Since Daniel Jones has signed that contract, Daniel Jones has thrown 2 touchdowns and 8 interceptions and has been injured for the majority part of him signing that contract. What's more impressive about that is that in those 8 interceptions, 3 of them have gone to the house. So Daniel Jones has successfully, after signing that contract, thrown more touchdowns for the other team than he's done his own team since he signed that contract. Third and final pepper point. I'm out this. Golly.
That's bad. And in closing, do something nice for yourself. And if you can, do something nice for someone else. They're greatly appreciated now more than ever. Continue to be a blessing, not a burden. This has been another fine and wonderful episode of Your Favorite Sports Podcast, none other than the SportsBros Podcast. Be Live. Take us home.
Yes, sir.
I thought he left.
Hey, it's Eddy Kool here from the SportsBros Podcast. Thank you for listening, and as always, continue to follow us on all of our social media platforms. Just click the link in the description box and keep up with the SportsBros Podcast. And once again, thanks for listening.